We have a wintry blast for Wednesday and Thursday. Kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. We are tracking a cold change. We've got some rain around northern New Zealand at the moment that is clearing away, and behind it, look at the southwest flow that goes all the way down to the bottom part of your screen. So we do have a colder Wednesday and Thursday, but by Friday, things start to warm back up again already. Let's take a look and see what is coming in. Here is the rainfall for the next few days, the next 3 days ahead. As you can see, the biggest totals are over here in the western side of both islands, or really the southwestern side of both islands. The areas you can see there in the pink and purple range, that's around about 50 up to about 70 or 80 millimetres. So you can see that around that side and also down parts of the west coast. Also Southland, you've got some heavy rain and some snow in there, 25 to about 45 millimetres of rain coming for you. We've also got a bit of snow in there too, down around southern areas, but the totals are much lower if you're in Southland. So that area there in pale blue and dark blue, that's this part of the scale. So you're only talking about a snow flurry to maybe a couple of centimetres and then it's gone. Up in the mountains and hills, it's a little bit heavier. Certainly the Fiordland ranges, you're talking about 50 to 75 centimetres of snow coming there, and a similar story on the very top of Mount Ruapehu. All right, let's take a look and see what is happening on Wednesday. Look at this. It is a wintry day. Spring is all about winter fading away, hints of summer coming in, and we've certainly had hints of summer coming in. Temperatures above 20 degrees over the last few days. Now we've got a temperature reset. This part down here is the polar portion. It is coming up and into Southland and Otago and Fiordland. Once you get north of that, it's actually not as cold. Although once again, the North Island will be a little more exposed to that same airflow coming into the southern and western sides. But to be honest with you, the South Island, you're shouldering most of that cold weather. So Wednesday, a miserable day. We've got snow on the ranges, a few low-level snow flurries down here, maybe some hail as well. But it's not all doom and gloom. Canterbury, the way that setup is lining up at this stage, shows inland areas remaining warmer than average on Wednesday. Coastal areas, you reset back to normal. A couple of you might even be below average. It is below average in about 2/3 of New Zealand on Wednesday. And by the time we get to Thursday, same story. Still about 2/3 of the country below average. Other areas are about average. In Canterbury, some parts inland, above average. So it is a bit of an unusual setup to have a southerly and to see Canterbury a little bit milder than normal, but that is simply because this is the polar airflow down here. You can see this sort of blankness with the isobars, a little bit of a traffic island in the middle there with nothing. That is basically the separator. So this is the polar airflow here, just missing New Zealand on Thursday. It'll be getting the Chatham Islands, but it'll be just off the coastline from the Chathams. And then you go one more isobar over, and that one is coming out of the Australian side. So there is a very fine line here between mild and cold. Most of the cold is out to sea, but Wednesday and Thursday, as you can see, are rough around the country. But the final positive, if you want sunny, warm, dry weather, you want to be facing the opposite to the wind. So the wind's a sou'wester, so if you look to the northeast, Nelson, Marlborough, Bay of Plenty, Bay of Islands, those are the places that you want to be. Let's go to the end of the week now, and Friday, high pressure to the north. That's going to encourage a westerly wind. So much warmer around New Zealand on Friday. Nationwide, it is warmer. It is warmer on Saturday as well, as those winds turn more northwest. But now we've got a classic spring cold front coming through for the weekend. So on Saturday, rain returns to the west coast with heavy falls, maybe a few thunderstorms, strong to gale force winds, snow in the mountains, gales through Cook Strait. Welcome to spring. Gosh, it's not surprising that yesterday was the spring equinox when you look at this sort of weather map for Saturday, but look at Sunday. That front's just rocketing through. So the North Island gets a few showers at night, then it's gone, and a windy Sunday that is mostly dry around New Zealand, except for the west coast and down around Southland. So we are in a classic textbook spring setup right now. If I was a teacher, a geography teacher at school, I'd be using these sort of maps to say, this is what spring looks like. This is a classic setup right now. That is all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest.